Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Grid. It's been about a week or so. I haven't been able to do a video. Obviously, life gets in the way, but I did want to jump back in because now we have the Nürburgring Nordschleife that has been officially dropped, and I did want to take a spin around this. I'm in the Mercedes AMG, a GT3 car. Just before I do talk a little bit about the Nürburgring or the Nordschleife track, we're going to take a run around it a little bit slower and kind of have a look at, you know, visually what they've done and what this looks like. But I do want to talk a bit about just the way kind of RSeat's process in releasing updates. I know a couple of mentioned why I don't point out the actual, you know, bugs or things that are in the game, and the reason I've chosen not to do that is because RSeat has quite a different process in releasing content. They're a very small studio. They're not like a big company like Codemasters or EA or any of these companies. They're very small, and so they don't really have like the luxury to wait until a product is completely done and ready to go, because they need to start making revenue on it. What they do is they release the content once it's in a state that is drivable and people can, you know, enjoy the content, knowing that they're going to be releasing subsequent updates after it's released. So that's really kind of one of the main reasons I don't point out bugs, not with just RSeat or AMS2, but with pretty much any game, unless it's something that, like, specifically like Codemasters. I know when they release a game, chances are the bugs that are in the game will get fixed, but there's some that will just not get fixed, like the voice control and things like that just never get updated. If you're wondering, I don't pick out and talk about all the bugs that are in the releases. That's a specific reason, and you got to keep it in mind that, you know, because they're such a small studio and they're going to continue working on it. Anyway, here we are on Nordschleife, and we're going to take this run a little bit slower and just kind of have an appreciation of what I can't believe I had the pit limiter on. I completely forgot about that. We'll just take a quick look at visually what they've done, because this is based on a laser scan track. It's somewhat of a hybrid, because they've taken the data from what Project Cars 2 had and they've, you know, upgraded over the top of that. So there's using laser scan data, but they're also using data from what they had, you know, from the Madness engine. I can tell you, just kind of going at a slower pace, and you rarely ever be driving this slow, but I like to go around a track a little bit slower just to kind of get a visual idea of some things that they, you know, they put a lot of work into this, and they put a lot of time and effort into making these tracks. So it's kind of good to go a little bit of a slower pace or a track walk without the actual walking part. I mean, for me, I'm looking at it and I think looks amazing. It actually looks really beautiful, and I don't have this set on my, you know, 4K or 3840 resolution. I have it at a 2560 resolution. I don't have everything bumped up, obviously, because I don't want an issue with recording and streaming this. At this resolution, it looks really good, and I'm really kind of impressed by the amount of detail they put in this. If you haven't seen my flight tour of Nürburgring, and specifically the Nordschleife, I did a flight tour with Microsoft Flight Simulator, just kind of talking a bit about the corners and about the history and the track. So go back and check that out if you have a chance, and just get a little bit more insight into this track. If you just stop here and take a look, I mean, a lot of times the surrounding areas in a track look pretty bland. You can see it's got these nice rolling hill, and it's got a lot of trees. You got, you know, there's a lot of depth to it. And let me just kind of spin around here and see. You know, you look off into the distance, there's a really nice draw distance to this. It looks pretty good. All right, let's move on. Just absolutely love the graffiti on this track. Imagine this is one of my bucket list tracks that I have not been to, and I was supposed to go there. When was it? Not last summer, the summer before. I was in Germany for vacation. People laugh at me when I tell them I went to Germany for vacation, but as a car lover, I mean, where else are you going to go? I mean, besides Italy, and I've been to Italy, but I had to go to Germany to visit all the museums, and one of my places that I wanted to go was to Nürburgring. Funny story, I was in Munich, and I wanted to map it out to go, you know, to Nürburgring for the day and take the taxi tour. And so it was with my family, and we were like, okay, we're going to go do the day trip. I mapped it out, and I'm like, okay, it's only 2.5 hours. I said, that's not bad. You know, we can pretty much go and make it back in the day and just not have to change hotels. Little did I know, I mapped Nuremberg and not Nürburg. I mean, what a stupid mistake to do. Then when I mapped Nürburgring, I realized it's about 7.5 hours to get there. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to make it to Nürburgring this time. It's funny, we were laughing about it the whole time. But anyway, all right, let's pick it up here. We'll make our way into the carousel. And I just want to see the dip in the carousel, how well they got that. You can just feel like you're going to drop right in. Yeah, it's pretty. There's a lot of detail in the wheel coming through, especially with this new force feedback change. So this is probably one of my favorite areas in the track where you just hit this drop off. And I like to feel that you're catching a little bit of air. And I am going to slow down just to the area where when you do come to take the tour of the ring, you can see the castle up there on the top of the hill. I mean, a lot of times those things would just not be detailed at all. They would just look like a just smudge in the graphics. So let's take a quick drop in here. So in this, I guess you can't go in there. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. All right, so that anyway, that's where you would usually go in if you're taking the tour of the track with the taxis, the BMW. In most games, like in R Factor, Assetto Corsa, that's usually where you'd start, right there. Oh, so you like my busted up hood? Anyway. So my wheel is completely off now. I was not expecting that. I thought I could at least drive in there. All right, so we're going to do a hot lap here on Nordschleife, but I do want to show you quickly, I have made a couple of changes to my force feedback after spending a bit more time. Originally, I said I had no low force boost. What I did realize, though, as I started to increase that, even with the direct drive wheel, I start to feel some really nice engine vibrations and a little bit more detail in the car. And subsequently, I also found that having the effects at 45, 40, it was a bit too high. I was getting a bit too much feedback, too much detail. So I've settled now for a gain of 50, a low force boost of 15, and an effects setting of 20. My damping is still the same. I haven't changed anything there. All right, lap of Nordschleife in the AMG GT3. And it wasn't a mistake that I picked the green version. A tribute to the green hell. Still a little bit of a balance to it, but I can probably fix that much like I did with the Porsche by just playing around with the damping settings. I just love the elevation changes on this track. They did a really nice job of replicating that. And down to one of my favorite sections of the track is this downhill sequence. I mean, who doesn't love this? Love to see a lot of the dense forest that's surrounding me. They really put a lot of trees in there. And it just gives you the feeling that you are in the middle of nowhere. And that's all you see is just mountainous hills off in the distance. I think that flicker that you see in the front there, that was just me having the graphics turned down quite a bit. And I will go back in and pump this all up to ultra settings and take another spin around here. I'm sure it's going to look great because it looks beautiful at 2560. Here we can open it up. Not many places on this track that you can pass, but this is one area that you can. So nice, so much detail coming through the wheel. I mean, you feel everything, like all the little bumps. You can feel it once you're going over a hill. You just feel that lightness in the wheel that your car's coming off. Let's see if I can get this carousel right. Drop in the right time. Not bad. And the AMG carousel. A little bit more of the difficult area of the track. Gotta get this sequence of corners right. We lose a lot of time here. And it's probably the second of my favorite areas where you just get that jump right here. And get on your brakes. Just feel the wheel go light, like you have no contact with the ground. And then the mini set carousel. And you got to get this right to maintain your speed so you can get back out on the straight and get an overtaking opportunity if you have one. And I'm not stopping this time. Destroyed my car last time. Let's see if we get top speed. What do we get? Maybe I'll get 275. As I said, I haven't adjusted any of my settings. 75. Oh. All right, and that was a lap of Nordschleife. Alright guys, so that's my look at Nordschleife. I hope you enjoyed it. I do know that they will be releasing a historical version of this track. I assume that would probably come in 2021, as they have a few other things that they're probably going to be releasing before then. And yeah, so I really do think this is a great job that they did with this track. As always, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. If you like, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and we'll catch you guys again very soon. Alright, take care.